Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, the Xbox One was announced. And in case you don't know what the Xbox One is, basically if you have an Xbox console like I do, and apparently you would know that the Xbox One was being talked about for months and months, but we didn't know exactly what its name was. We all thought it was 720, we all thought it was Durango, you name it. We thought it was all these different names. And today it was dubbed the Xbox One. Now apparently, one of the innovations, if you will, with this, is that it has Smart Glass built in, Windows Smart Glass, which will enable you, basically, from what they said, to control some of the features, if not most of the features, widget, tablet, Android, Windows Phone, iPod, whatever, you name it, you'll be able to control with a device like this. And as promising as that sounds, I know a lot of people are going to be skeptical about it. In fact, a lot of people are skeptical about the system itself. As a matter of fact, some people have come out and said, hey, I don't want to buy a console just to watch TV. I want to buy a console to play games. And you know, you can't blame people for feeling that way, obviously, because, you know, you got all these different systems that are coming out. The Wii U that came out last year, the PS4 that's coming out later this year, and now the Xbox One. And a lot of them, including the Wii U, are targeting more of an entertainment value than game value. Now, some people may disagree that, you know, the Wii U is going in that direction, but it seems to be. I mean, when you take a look at the fact that even the Wii now enables you to watch Amazon video, Amazon.com video, Netflix video, as well as YouTube video. Hello? Well, anyway, I'll provide a link down below so you guys can read one of the links of many. You can, guys, look at this yourself. But basically, it's being dubbed by Xbox as an all-in-one home entertainment system with Skype, live TV, and many other capabilities. Now, it says the Xbox will be released or available around the world later this year. Now, this is what it says about the Xbox One, and I quote CNET. This is CNET, I believe. Yeah, is it CNET? Yeah, CNET. This is what I quote from them. This is from the report, one of the reports. This is what they quote. This is what they say, and I quote. The Xbox One includes games, TV, movies, music, the web, and apps. It has Skype and live TV capabilities, as well as voice recognition to switch between programs, new gesture recognition, and the ability to operate multiple programs at the same time. And users make group video calls via Skype. The new Xbox One home screen identifies users and logs them in with all their favorite apps and games. It remembers what they were doing the last time they played, and those actions show up on the home screen. A new trending tab shows users what's popular with friends in the overall community. The Xbox One also includes 3 operating systems in one. The Xbox operating system, a Windows OS kernel, and software to connect the 2 operating systems for multitasking. Microsoft also launched a new Xbox Live system for its updated game console. Under the hood of the large, sleek black device are an 8-core processor, 8 GB of RAM, Blu-ray, USB 3, HDMI in and out, and a 500 GB hard drive. Microsoft, which is hosting a special next generation event at its Redmond, Washington headquarters, last introduced a new gaming console, the 360, in 2005. Since that time, the Xbox has become the best-selling game console in the country. In April alone, consumers spent $208 million on hardware, software, and accessories for the Xbox. However, the new Xbox launch comes as the game console business faces an uncertain future. More and more people are turning to mobile devices, such as this, for gaming, and the web for gaming, which has resulted in weaker console sales. The Wii U includes a tablet-like game controller that doubles as a second screen, and has faced tepid interest since launching late last year. Sony, meanwhile, unveiled its PlayStation 4 in February, but the device isn't expected to hit market until the fall. To help game consoles become more of a living room staple, Microsoft has been incorporating more entertainment capabilities into its Xbox, including media streaming functionality. Throughout the event Tuesday, Microsoft positioned the Xbox One as an entertainment system, not just a game console. And that apparently is one of the things that fans have a problem with right now when it comes to this new Xbox. They don't like the fact that the console that is being dubbed as an entertainment system instead of a console. Now, another innovation about it is the controller. I don't think you can see that very well, but the controller is a little bit different. It's a little bit more, it's kind of like this, but a little larger. It's kind of like this, a little larger. And the buttons here are kind of changed around. You got the big Xbox thing here on top. And basically a lot of people have dubbed it as a kind of a combination of the original Xbox controller and the 360 controller. So yeah, basically, you know, you can still use your controller, you can use your tablet, or even your voice and movement gestures and all that. And apparently, they obviously have been hearing what people have said about the Kinect, and the new Kinect is supposed to be more accurate, more voice recognition and gesture recognition. And it says, again, another report says, Microsoft has unveiled the new Xbox. It's called Xbox One. It's Microsoft's first new console in more than 7 years. Yes, we've had many expectations for this console, especially since Sony and Nintendo have already taken their first steps in the next-gen landscape. Here's what you need to know that was announced at the event. And I don't think you can really see that very well. But that's apparently what the Xbox One is going to look like. It's big, not too big. It says the original Xbox debuted in the fall of 2005. The the Xbox 360, which feels like a million years ago. Even if it's only 7.5 years, it's high time for a new console. Even if some tech pundits are questioning the value of gaming hardware platforms in the current age. Design. The Xbox One is large, sleek, and black, and looks like a piece of AV equipment. The controller and Kinect unit are redesigned too. Kinect and Xbox One in particular sport sharp, angle, glossy, black, boxy looks. As I said, the Xbox One really does feel like some elaborate piece of home theater gear. And considering its mission to knit entertainment together into a modern all-in-one package, that's clearly intentional. It looks awfully big compared to current gen consoles and how they've slimmed down. The name Xbox One suggests a reboot and a fresh start. Maybe from this day forward, Microsoft's connected living room PC strategies will spring from the Xbox One, or it'll just be a very good gaming console. Home entertainment. Microsoft promises that this is a better connected way of linking TV, games, and entertainment in one unit. Something like Xbox 360 already does, but will do more via commands like Xbox On. As was said during the initial presser, you're going to have a relationship with your TV. The elevated pitch take on a living room that has become too complex and makes a system that knits games, TV, and entertainment. So how will this happen? There are universal gestures such as grab and pan, swipe up. Watching live TV will involve maximizing and minimizing the screen in a top corner. Live TV will be part of the Xbox One experience via HDMI. Yes, cable TV looks like part of the package. But we haven't seen other than some picture-in-picture overlays. How exactly TV is piped in and more deeply interacted with it and who the partners are? Comcast was mentioned. But what of other companies? But what other companies will contribute to letting the Xbox One hook in and become a true TV accessory? That was the challenge that daunted Google TV and the Wii U. Right now, it doesn't look like the Xbox One replaces your cable box or your DVR, even though it's large enough to be both. The Xbox One does knit together new voice commands to do some PC-like stuff. Order movie tickets, for instance, engage in Skype, or pull up fantasy sports stats while watching a game. Trying to read this here. The conversational Sir meets Google, now like voice commands, hopefully have clear menu representation on the console. Otherwise, it could get confusing. The all-in-one entertainment console is a pitch we've heard before, dating back to the PS3, and before that, really going back all the way to the 3DO. It hasn't worked, but the Xbox One is better positioned because the Xbox 360 already really It hasn't always worked, but the Xbox One is better positioned because the Xbox 360's already pretty successful at being an excellent streaming video device. The specs, and I mentioned this already. The specs. Under the hood, details so far include a core processor and graphics made by AMD. 8 GB of RAM, Blu-ray, USB 3, HDMI in and out, and a 500 gigabyte hard drive. 500 gigabytes. Besides all this, Microsoft is promising a new operating system fusing Xbox and Windows. Xbox One architect has 3 operating systems in one. Xbox, a kernel of Windows, perhaps the Windows RT. Actually, it's the Windows OS. That's what it says in the other one, the Windows OS. And a multitasking interface. The idea seems to be that this console will be a multitasker at heart. Check out a head-to-head comparison with the PlayStation 4 specs known so far. However, and you can see that the distance between Sony and Microsoft, hardware-wise, will be closer than ever. New Kinect. A new Kinect comes with the Xbox One complete with improved accuracy. It has a 1080p camera, Skype connectivity, and understanding of rotational movement in a structure like a skeleton. Microsoft even claims the new Kinect can read your heartbeat. It can also recognize your controller, not just your hands, suggesting users. It can also recognize your controller, not just your hands, suggesting uses that sound a little like the ones for PlayStation's Move Wand. The new controller. The Xbox controller has gotten a revamp with an integrated battery, improved ergonomics, however you pronounce it, a better D-pad, and improved response triggers. It looks similar, but has gotten a bunch of gamer-oriented tweaks. Smart Glass. The tablet-based Smart Glass experience will be around on Xbox One and will work as before with a variety of phones and tablets. Baked-in Wi-Fi Direct on the Xbox One will allow Bluetooth-like direction communication, or Bluetooth-like direct communication between external devices, which could come in handy for other future peripherals. 2. Second screens will be a major method of interacting with the Xbox One, but details were scarce at the Xbox event. How it will be better than and more profound than Smart Glass as it currently exists. Okay, but details were scarce at the Xbox event. How will it be better than and more profound than Smart Glass as it currently exists? That's the question. Xbox Live. Built on the existing service and usernames, the new Xbox Live promises 300,000 servers for Xbox One. A whopping number. Matchmaking services will work while you're doing other tasks like watching movies or web browsing, and bigger, more quickly connecting matches are promised too. Microsoft has discussed some cloud services on the Xbox One that seem promising. User-based cloud game saves, upload game recording, and even potential for cloud processing enhanced games. How that will play out isn't clear. Games. Microsoft plans 8 new franchises for the Xbox One in the first year. A hopeful sign for a platform that's become too sequel dependent. It's become too sequel dependent. Of course, Bonsai 5 was shown off, but a new game called Quantum Break from the developers of Alan Wake looks like the sort of game we're more used to seeing from PlayStation, with a big studio design and cinematic feel. But there is some bad news. Like the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One isn't backwards compatible with Xbox 360 games. Oh, that's weird. Isn't backwards compatible with Xbox 360 games. TV on Xbox. TV is going to be the next water cooler. Xbox is going to be the next water cooler. That was said during the Xbox event to suggest the Xbox One's role as a social TV platform. To that end, it sounds like Microsoft is developing TV shows and original programming for the Xbox One, making a greater leap into Netflix-like original programming. Steven Spielberg announced a new TV series based on Halo, and the NFL demonstrated some level of interaction with fantasy stats in Skyping with NFL broadcasts. Availability. The Xbox will be available later this year, so that means 2013 after all. Price and a specific date will have to wait, after all. E3 is just weeks away. In short, there are still several things about Xbox One we don't know and would like to know. Now, I know one thing a lot of fans are not going to be happy about is the fact that there's not going to be any backwards compatibility. I know Angry Joe's not going to like that, and I know Alpha Omega Sin's not going to like that. Alright. Again, they confirm that the Xbox One will not be backwards compatible with any previous Xbox games. Xbox One games will also need to be fully installed. And if the installed disc is used on another console, there will be a small fee for doing so. We don't have a lot of details beyond that, but fears of anti-used game tactics have officially been realized. Of course, Xbox One games will have achievements, but it sounds like they will take on new life with more specificity as opposed to being awarded just for reaching a certain point in the game. Perhaps the best news of all wasn't the debut of a specific game, but rather the announcement that 15 exclusive games will hit the platform within its first year. 8 of which will be totally brand new franchises. During the rest of the event, we only got a tease of what's to come. EA Sports promised new sports simulation experience thanks to the Ignite engine that Madden 25, FAA 14, UFC, and NBA Live will run on. Fonzie 5, of course, like I mentioned, Quantum Break, and Call of Duty Ghosts have all been announced. And Ghosts will have exclusive content for the Xbox One, similar to a relationship currently established on the Xbox 360. So yeah, again, like I said, not a lot of people are going to be happy about the news that you can't do backwards compatibility. And I believe that'll be the only backlash that Xbox or Microsoft gets from this. So far, though, it does sound, I know it's going to sound crazy, from the specifications and everything, so far it sounds okay. 500 gigabytes of hard drive, 8 gigabytes of RAM, Blu-ray, what more can you ask for? Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, we dealt with this before in the past with another console. Yeah, that's true, but you got to give Microsoft credit. They're trying to at least, I guess, integrate a lot of stuff, saying, hey, look, you want to watch TV, fine, you can do this, you can do that. But again, as they say, we don't know much about the system just yet. We don't know all the real details. All we know is the specifications, what the controller's going to look like, what the system's going to look like, what the new Kinect's going to look like, what's going to be involved, like I said, the core processors and stuff like that. We're not really, even though we all know that, and even though we've got an idea of what games are coming for it within its first year, we don't really know too much about it. Yes, one of the major defaults, or one of the major faults, if you will, is the fact that it's not backwards compatible. And I'm sure Angry Joe and Alpha Omega Sin are going to talk about that. But anyway, my thoughts are we just got to wait and see until we get full, and I mean really full details instead of what we just got today. And I'm not just talking about the specifications and what it's capable of doing and all that. I'm talking real full details. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get the entire, I'm sure they're going to give a whole revamped presentation of it at E3 this year, as well, at E3 this year, as well as when it's going to come out this year and what the price range is going to be. I'm hoping, because I know nowadays you're always going to have two different versions. So I'm hoping for either between a price range of 400, maybe, 3 or 400 is what I'm hoping. Maybe 3 to 500. But that's just me. That's just me. But let me know what you guys think down below. I'm sorry this video went a little long. But let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the Xbox One. I'll provide links to the CNET stuff that I brought up. And you can find a lot of this on Google and YouTube. Let me know what you guys think. And I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.